So when it comes to the economy right now, things are looking like they're going from not so good to potentially worse to potentially heading towards a place we actually don't want it to go. So when times like this come, the last thing you want to do is be spending a lot of money, because when the hard times come and you don't have that money, it's gonna hurt. Okay? And one of my favorite things ever is actually farming. Not to actually farm, but just the concept of farming. I like the idea of it, simplicity of it, and how much work it actually takes. And in farming, there's this very simple concept, right? There's the concept of there is a time to do everything. There is a time to plant, and there is a time to harvest. But all while you're doing this, different seasons are actually happening. So what it basically means is that there is a time for you to save money, for you to invest money, for you to be frugal. And then after you're done with all that hard work, there is a time for you to live a little bit more, to spend a little bit more, to just enjoy life more. But if you try to do the last one, the enjoying life, the spending money on things, without doing the first, the being frugal, the investing, the saving, when the hard times come, they're gonna hurt you the most. It's like the farmer that spends time planting but eats it at the same time, never lets it actually fully mature. Or for example, winter comes, he's not prepared and never actually planted anything in the first place. That's called going broke. That's called not making it. All right, and that's not what you want to do. So in this video, I'm gonna give you a few obvious signs of what's happening right now in the economy and why you might want to start postponing a lot of the plans you had when it came to making certain purchases. And as always, guys, like this video on top. I also subscribe and hit the bell straight notified. Now, there are some obvious signs out there. For example, the first sign is the Fed is increasing interest rates. And what that means is basically demand is going to start to slow down. It's going to become a lot more expensive to borrow money. And you might say, Tommy, I'm not even going to borrow money. But that doesn't affect you per se, but that affects a lot of businesses and a lot of expansion in the country. And whenever this happens, you see a slowdown in the economy. So what's happening right now, second sign is you're seeing a lot of layoffs start to happen. Not just in big corporation, but also, for example, in small businesses, because small businesses make up a lot of the portion as far as, for example, new employment in this country. So whenever those things slow down, whenever it's taking you a lot longer to get a job, whenever you're even being laid off, those are not things you actually want to see on the news, because that puts you at risk too, that puts you at jeopardy. And if you don't have your main source of income, well, what exactly do you do then? And the last sign is pretty obvious. You're seeing a slowdown in production or a slowdown in supply. You're seeing companies like Apple say, hey, we're not gonna make as many iPhones this year because obviously people need to save their money, and it just doesn't make any sense because they probably won't buy it anyways. These are obvious signs of an economy starting to slow down and contract little by little. And you might say, Tommy, well, why don't they try to prevent this? The answer is because the second option is to let inflation run rampant, and that's even worse. So that's the most prudent option we actually have right now, and that's why we're doing, for example, raising of the interest rates, trying to slow things down, trying to have the economy slow down. And by the way, this obviously means, hey, things are going to be a little tougher. Winter is coming, and when winter comes, you don't want to be caught without your jacket, without your coat, because if you're not prepared, you will freeze. And it is not fun losing your job, not having any savings or anything like that. So here's a few things you want to be postponing. Anything that's not a necessity, anything that right now is just an option. For example, I have a car, Tommy, but it kind of sucks. I want to buy another car. Just don't do it right now. I have a TV, but Black Friday's coming. Don't do it right now. There's Christmas. Don't do it right now. As far as, for example, I want to go on vacation. I want to do this. I have this plan. If it's not a necessity, don't do it right now. But Tommy, I have a lot of cash on hand. I'm able to do these things. The answer is don't do it right now. Just save up that money. And that's going to put you in a position where basically if something does happen, an opportunity does surge up from all this stuff, you're able to take advantage of it. But if nothing does happen, anything that happens is kind of bad for you, you have money on the side to take care of yourself. Now, there are some things that I do advise you to potentially buy. Whenever the economy is slowing down, depending on where you sit and where you're basically lying as far as, for example, your finances, your job security, and everything else. For example, not everyone out there has the same level of job security. For example, someone that that is a teacher for a public school isn't gonna have the same level of job security, for example, maybe as a lawyer or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, different people have more security based around their job. But if you're around a job that you could get fired because you're doing, for example, like data entry, they might not need you anymore. They might lay you off. Like, I think Amazon is laying off, that's the fancy word, over 10,000 corporate employees, but they're hiring people in their warehouses or so on. I think I read that today. But the idea is people are getting fired. People are getting laid off. And whenever that happens, that's actually not good. But if you are stable in your position and you have a lot of confidence in it, this is the perfect time to start investing a little bit more money, because when these times do come, there is a lot of wealth exchange in hands. There are people selling their investments because they need the money. People selling investments because basically they're scared. People selling just because they want to sell and they don't want to be a part of the market when it's down, okay? Just because they don't understand it. So when this stuff is happening, when the market is down, when a stock is down 40%, but it's a solid stock, basically gives you an opportunity to make some extra money. Number two, if you want to buy a car, if you need a car right now, right, and you're seeing, for example, obvious signs that the car market is basically going down, and you know you need this car and you're going to buy it anyways, and you have the cash on hand, the answer is, if you could buy a car for like 20, 30, 40% off and it makes sense, buy it. It makes sense. You're actually getting at a discount if it doesn't put you in financial harm. And if you see a house that now you're actually in the market, you're actually able to afford it, even if interest rates are a little high right now. Remember, interest rates being high aren't, for example, a correlation between you being able to afford a home. The you being able to afford a home comes from your personal finances. So if I'm able to buy a home right now for a 20% discount or 30% discount, and I might be paying, for example, maybe like, let's say like 2-3 points more on my mortgage, that's fine. Because once it does go down, if it makes financial sense, once you adjust for the cost of actually refinancing, I could just always refinance. But whenever I buy a home, I buy it based on my own finances. So the overall idea is this: we are looking like we're about to go through winter. When winter comes, everybody's at risk. The money might go down in certain places. And whenever you hear the idea is, Tommy, no, people make the most money here. No, people that are prepared for winter are the people that are gonna make the most money. But if you're not prepared for winter, if you don't have, by the way, what does this mean, okay? It means, for example, this might be the perfect time, facts, okay, for you to save up at least 6 months worth of your emergency fund, or 3 months. It might be the perfect time to say, hey, I'm gonna start paying off some of this debt to actually unleverage myself that much, so that way I have a lot more freedom. It might be the perfect time to say, hey, if I have no debt, if I have a fully funded emergency account, I'm able to basically take advantage of this whole thing and basically just invest a lot more money. And that way, once the market averages back out, you come out of this whole thing with a lot more money. But to say, for example, you're in a bad spot, in a job that you don't really feel that confident in, but you have some dollars on the side and you want to use it to take advantage of something, but you need that money for your emergency fund in case you get fired, you get laid off, or you break a leg, the answer is just wait. Be patient. So my point is, take care of the necessities, the things you actually need. But if you have something that's basically optional, and it always comes like at the most temptation is a word? Something that kind of tempts you a lot. I'm not sure if it's a word or not, but it always comes at the most tempting time. For example, you have Black Friday is coming pretty soon. You have Christmas coming really soon. It's just kind of like you're very excited about all these deals that are going to happen. But if you can't afford it, if it's not the right time, just don't do it. It makes no sense to put yourself in jeopardy during these times. Guys, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. And on top, if you made it all the way to the end, comment down below, patience, so I know you made it all the way to the end. On top of that, up here is another video. Over here is my Facebook, subscribe. And as always, Long Term Team officially out.